we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Voch is live from the compound here, same old, but Mr. Broaddus here is remote at Nolans, the Super Bowl. I'm sure that
Nolans.
I'm sure that you was in Baton Rouge for a while, so I'm sure that you made a couple road trips down. I'm sure you know where all the good stuff is at, and you was in the league. You did a lot of traveling, so I'm sure you know where the people should be congregating at.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Voch. I'm at the convention center, and this is one of the biggest convention centers you'll ever be in your life. I think you and I and one other show is working right now, but we're working. We're working. So great to be with you, brother. Hope you had a great weekend. I hope you got some rest. I'm excited to see you on the draft show tomorrow. I'm going to miss you guys, but I know we're going to have a good one tonight. Talking some, I know you got some players. You gave me an assignment, and I spent part of my time in the hotel last night and a little bit this morning, like studying some players. So here we go.
Man, Bryan Broaddus, boy, I'm just these three guys we got, man. That first three on that list I gave you, boy, this could shake it up a little bit, Broaddus.
Yeah, sure.
This could shake it up. I love how we just keep watching film and we just keep putting names over the fourth round picks we got. You know what I'm saying? I like Bryan.
Yeah.
I got a third round pick.
Yep.
I have a fourth.
Yep.
And I got another dude that's a 3 that I'm dying to put at 2.
Oh.
I'm dying to put him at 2, but it's small little reasons why I might leave him at 3, Bryan Broaddus. Who you want to talk about first, the 4, the 3, or the 3 that I'm dying to put at 2?
Okay, I'm going to give you I think Darius Alexander, defensive lineman from Toledo, you're dying to put in the 2.
He's so interesting. Keep going though. Fill out the rest of it.
I think you like the tight end from Miami.
Okay.
Next.
Okay. Keep going.
And then I think you like Rucker third out of that group.
You know your partner, Bryan Broaddus. You know your guy. Now, Bryan, this is the time of the year where we got to focus.
Yeah, we got to focus.
This is the time of the year where we got to pay attention.
Got to pay attention.
You know what I mean? Pay attention. Because a lot of times these guys just won't jump off the film for like 60 plays. You know, they may jump off for like 5. And then they'll go away a little bit. You may get 3 more.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to copy and paste and paint a picture.
Keep talking.
Let's start here. Let's just start here, Bryan Broaddus. This Darius Alexander kid.
Yeah, interesting.
I looked on my PFF board and they got him up there. I think he's at 60 or something now. And I say, damn, where was he at? He was previously at like 180 or something. I said, why he up here? Yeah. Bryan, I download the film. I got some Western Kentucky. I got Miami of Ohio.
Oh yeah, here we go.
That's a good one. And
here we go.
It's like one more I got up in there that was pretty. Let me look at my downloads there. And I got Bowling Green.
Illinois.
I got Bowling Green.
There you go.
I got Bowling Green, Bryan. There you go. Now, Bryan, just off the rip, those names competitively don't really jump out to you. But if you have a good competitive Senior Bowl, then that helps.
Go watch the one-on-ones in the Senior Bowl stuff. Go watch those. That'll help you a bit. That'll help you a little bit.
Now, Bryan Broaddus. Boy. Sometimes he won't fly off the football. Sometimes he'll get up a little late. But when he does, he will fly his ass off that football, won't he, Bryan Broaddus?
He will fly that. He will fly it.
He has some initial pop. I think he has some pretty good length as an interior worker. I think he got quick hands, Bryan Broaddus. He really loves that swipe and that slap move, Bryan. Or that quick jet swim over the top. Bryan, he loves those moves. Sometimes, and I don't recommend this, but sometimes he'll just run down the middle of you. I don't recommend.
I don't recommend that.
I don't recommend D lineman run down the middle of you, but Bryan, sometimes they'll run flat down the middle of them kids, and you can see the power and what I was impressed by, which I got him over Deion Walker from Kentucky. But once he gets that drive, he knows to disengage and like get rid of you.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it as consistently as some of the guys on top of the board, but he does know sometimes to engage, strike, and get rid of you. Sometimes I saw some reps where he looked disinterested, you know, maybe that was just him being a little lost. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he got a little tired some of those reps, Bryan Broaddus. I'm not
got a little winded.
I'm not at liberty to say what happened, but I just know some plays was down here, but some of them Jones was up here. Some of his plays is up here. And when he's up here, he's ridiculous. I think he got some of that same problems that some of the rest of these guys got with like pad level, and he's tall. He's taller. I don't really know I don't really know his measurements, but his pads get a little high sometimes. But Bryan, when he bend them knees and get down and them hands get inside and he started driving and extending and steering wheeling, Bryan, boy, this Darius Alexander kid looks impressed. But for some of those reasons why I was a bit down on him is why I have him in the third. But I think he's talented enough. Traits-wise,
man, stop reading my report. You're like reading my report right now. I'm telling you, reading exactly what my report's saying.
Traits-wise, some team will like him and put him in the twos. So I got him behind Grant, Williams, Harmon, Nolan. Those are my twos. And in the third round, I got Sanders. From South Carolina, I got Alexander, Toledo, and then I got Walker right up under him. Then Norman Light and Collins from Texas. Go ahead, sir. What you think about Darius Alexander from Toledo?
He's a 6'4", he's 310 pounds, and he physically looks the part. There is some excellent traits to this young man's game. He does a really nice job of playing with power. He can really rock these MAC blockers off the line of scrimmage. He did some of the same thing in the Senior Bowl. When you watch him, there's some explosive athletic ability, to his game. He can get some push as a pass rusher. There's snaps where you see him come off the ball a little tall. You said that, but then he walks his guy back into the quarterback, and he could be difficult to handle one-on-one. He does a nice job of defending the run, playing one-on-one, blocks, double teams, doesn't matter. He's able to kind of work his way around those things. He could hold his ground. He could go right past the blockers. He gets his feet in the ground really quickly, and he uses his hands just to drive through the blocker. He plays with leverage and in the fit and is able to control the blockers with his power and his length. This guy has got lateral movement to him. He plays with quickness. There's some questions about his motor that you addressed, and it's absolutely right. He could run hot and cold. But when he's on, he could be tough to deal with. My last line of my notes was huge potential. I have him in the third round. And I have him in the third round with my guys. Let me get to my third round board. If I could I've got him in the third. I still have Sanders, South Carolina, Norman Lott, hyphenated name from Tennessee, and Alexander in the third. Those are my three guys. Sanders, Norman Lott, Alexander, third round, 3 technique defensive tackles.
I respect that a bunch. The reason why I have him over Norman Lott is because I think Norman Lott is like really just pass rush guy. I think that Alexander got some run game to him as well. You know what I'm saying? With just
he clearly does. And where he's going to win is going to be pushing the front of that pocket. And and I just counted as that Toledo, Tennessee. You got kind of that. You see it, and this is no disrespect to any of those schools in the MACtion. No disrespect. But he did some stuff at the Senior Bowl, too. We noted that. So I should probably be aware of that as well.
Bryan, me, you, and Woodchuck did an exercise on the draft show last week. And I'm a fan of y'all, so I know that y'all talked about it on the radio and y'all talked about it on your on your podcast there, The Love of the Star Brand.
We did. We sure did.
Bryan, do you think that when we gather more information, because it seems like defensive tackle runs a little deep, do you think that if we gather more information, that maybe we take the wide receiver in that third round and maybe not Harmon? Do we add to the conversation and we say, man, look, wide receivers are running out, but I keep finding defensive tackles that I like, that'll probably be there at 3. And then I got some more guys that's on our list here. We're gonna watch the kid from Maryland and Indiana and Ole Miss there. And I like those guys in the bowl game setting or whatever. Or do you look at that like, okay, we'll just keep Harmon, but we need tackle so much, we'll just double down on it.
Yeah, I got Harmon there in the second.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, walk me through this again.
Yes, sir.
Where would you like a wide receiver? Do you want a wide receiver at 44, or do you want one in that third round pick in the 70s?
I would love a wide receiver at 12 or 44 because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get way better than Jalen Tolbert, not just a little better, right? Like if you draft Royals, right? You will get a player that may be a little better in time, or he may not be better than Tolbert right now. He may be like on par. I think if you get like Jack Besh, TCU at 44, I think he's clearly better than Tolbert right now, or one of those first round guys at 12 or something like that. So if I want to draft somebody, I want somebody clearly better than Tolbert.
Okay, let me ask you this: Would you take Nolan, Ole Miss defensive tackle, over Besh, wide receiver?
I think I got Besh.
Okay.
Route runner, physical size. Okay. Size, hands guy.
Would you take? How about Williams from TCU? Savion Williams, wide receiver at TCU.
I'm taking. I got Savion over Besh, so I'm taking Savion over Nolan. So Savion, Besh, those guys are going over Nolan, then, is what you're saying? Yes, sir.
Is how you're looking at it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this in the third round, then.
Yes, sir.
I've got Sanders, Norman Lott, and Alexander.
Okay.
Would you take, of the guys I just named off my board, just you do it from what you know.
Okay.
Sanders, Norman Lott, hyphenated name, Tennessee, and then Alexander. I got Harris, Ole Miss.
Okay.
Royals, the Utah State. Okay. I've got Tez Johnson from Oregon in the third. Now, I don't think you do. So if you want to take him out of the mix, you could take him out.
Okay.
Higgins and Bond. Do you like those 3 technique defensive tackles over Harris, Royals, Higgins, and Bond? I took Johnson out of there because I think you got Johnson in the second round, don't you?
Yeah. And I also got Harris in the second, but Harris is at the bottom of my second. Like he's he's touching third right now. But to your point though, I would take Harris over Sanders, Alexander, Norman Lott.
Okay, so you would take most of the you would take Harris over the 3 defensive tackles that I gave you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you feel better about grabbing in a defensive tackle?
I do, Brian. I think we have to have a conversation about, we talked about that big 3, running back, wide receiver, and tackle.
Yeah, we did.
Tackle.
We sure have.
If we don't take one of those in the first round, it's gonna get weird. So if you take, let's just say you go Genty first, you immediately should be looking to go wide receiver second. If you go wide receiver first, I think it kind of opens up some room for you, because now you got 2 rounds of running back, 3 rounds of running backs. Really, we don't have a 4. Yeah. So you got second and third round for running back. I don't think you're feeling comfortable about your third round receivers for real. You may feel cool about them, but I think once the receivers you like are gone, I think they're gone.
I'll tell you what, Voch, I disagree with you. I feel good about Royals.
Okay.
I do feel good about Royals. And maybe it's just because he fits my eye. And I had somebody the other day like, Broaddus, of course. You like big wide receivers that can't separate. That's perfect. Let's keep playing that way.
Physical.
Yeah,
guy. Yeah.
But man, the guy makes a ton of damn plays.
Sure does.
But anyway, go ahead. Okay, so we got it. Go ahead.
Is Royals better than like Brandon Cooks right now?
Okay, different body type.
Sure.
Different level of quickness.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you run Royals on slants and in breaking routes, just the fact that he's a bigger guy makes him better? Will he go down? Now, do you see some vertical routes with this guy?
Sure.
You see some not a ton, but he doesn't run he doesn't have the quickness.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have the quickness of Cooks.
Right.
I think he catches the ball just as well, though, and maybe even better.
Sure.
Sure. Because he has to make contested plays.
Yeah.
He has to.
One day, Bryan.
These guys get on me about, oh, that's it, bro. Just keep liking all these big damn wide receivers that can't separate. And,
Bryan, how about this?
You'll learn one day. You'll learn one day, and I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
Bryan, one day we're gonna have a conversation about which wide receivers you think the quarterback would rather have. And I think that's going to be an interesting conversation. Just looking at our board, the guy that catches bad passes, that catches the slants and the tight window throws. You always tell me Dak's making tight window. Do you want the guy that can make those tough tight window, or does he want the guy that can separate? Does he want the guy that can run deep? We're gonna have that conversation one day, Bryan.
Yeah.
But
I know you're right about that, bro.
I think that'll be a good one. Elijah Arroyo. Now, when I was talking to you earlier about you got to piece plays together and make a picture in your mind, this is the guy that I was talking about. I don't think Miami used him to his fullest. And
what the hell were they doing the first couple of years he was available? Is that just the quarterback, Voch? Is just having Cam Ward enough that got this kid drafted that he's going to go pretty high in this draft because of Cam Ward?
Has to be, Bryan. But you see the athlete, you see the big body, you see the length. The length is going to be ridiculous, and that adds to like the catch radius. You see him line up wide, line up in the slot. You see him line up in line. So coaches love that, moving all over the place, and you can see him making these big plays down the field. He does the routine layup, wide receiver stuff, the down under stuff. But I think if you have this kid, I think he's going to be testing you vertically. So the Cowboys love to throw that little seam over the linebacker. This the guy to do it with that arm length and his hands and all that. I think. As a yak guy, I wanted to see more of him.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Just wanted to see a little bit more there. But as a guy that can make the big play downfield, I think that's his game. And I don't think of him as a particularly good blocker or anything like that. He's going to be like a full-blown receiving guy. But I do see, he has the frame to develop into it. He has the size to kind of grow into a better blocker there. But it depends on what, coaching does there. I wanted Miami to use him more consistently, to use him better than I wanted them to try to lean on him like Texas would lean on Helm sometimes, or like Michigan will lean on, what I'm saying? Lean on, like throw it to him. How Penn State leans on Warren, but they didn't. I guess they had options there. But I like Arroyo. I think he's gonna make a bunch of plays, and I think he's like a dude that might be quarterback dependent. If he gets a quarterback that'll let it rip, I think he's gonna excel in the league. But I got him in the third round, Bryan, just off of upside.
Yeah, I really do like what you said, because I think you painted a really good picture. I put the kid in the fourth, okay, and I liked, because I've got guys like, and you mentioned Fannin, Helm. I kind of like those guys in the third better than I like Arroyo, because I kind of feel like that, and let me be honest, friggin' Helm from Texas.
Yeah.
He had to come to, what kind of a meeting too. Like the coaches are like, hey, you better, get it going here. And so he had a breakout. Arroyo is the same way. You really wonder, like, what the hell was Miami thinking? Sure. And I said this in my notes. I said nobody benefited more from Cam Ward than this guy.
Yeah.
And I thought he was outstanding during the Senior Bowl with those quarterbacks. He lined up as a slot. You mentioned in line. The staff will move him around. Another thing you brought up, it helps him when he has to block. I don't think he's a great inline guy. I think he's better when he's on the move. I think he's kind of able to hold his own block in that way. I think he did a really nice job with the blitzes and defensive ends and stuff like that. He moves really well for a man of his length. But, at 206'4", 251 pounds, I thought he could be a little rigid. When you watch him, he's got a little bit, and I say, and I shouldn't, it's not stiffness, he looks a little tall.
Like he just runs straight. He runs straight.
Yeah, straight up, and he's just kind of in and out of his breaks, but he looks a little rigid doing it. But he can get to the flats. He can find the soft spots and zones. You can see him on the vertical stuff. They fake a play action. And he releases, arc releases, and then boom, he's up the field. Then the ball's on top of him. They're not covering him and all that. He's got impressive hands. Yeah. He really does. He can snatch it. And I think that he, like you said, I think he gets what he can after the catch.
Sure.
He take the ball, turn up. He's not always going to make folks miss in space, but he works hard to finish. His hands, his size is a plus. Maybe he's not the best athlete, but I think his best football might be ahead of him as a player. Yeah. And because of his frame and how he looks. I saw somebody compare him to Luke Schoonmaker when Luke Schoonmaker came out. And I don't know. I think
he's a much better receiver. He's a much better receiver than Luke.
Yeah, he's much better receiver. I think Luke was a little bit better, more of an inline blocker. But people were comparing this guy maybe this guy's a little bit like, was it Isaiah Likely that plays for the Ravens?
Sure, one of those guys. Yeah,
that kind of a player. Yeah.
I'm a fan of him though, Brian. I think, like you said, there's some room to grow there, and I think once he gets bigger next year, or whatever these teams do to him, I think it depends. Like if he has a quarterback that'll let it rip to him, oh my God, I think he'll go crazy. And he's a Senior Bowl guy. I think him versus linebackers is a really big advantage for him. He really
very very much. Yeah,
he really did a good job getting behind those guys. Let's get one more in, Brian. Tell us about our guy Rucker that is a pass rusher, but
why do you always leave those guys, like the guy that you don't like? I end up having to deal with that.
I really get excited. I get excited. I take the first two and I just leave you whoever's left over.
I got you.
I will say this though. No. I like Rucker. I just don't think he does much in the run game. But as a pass rusher, I like him. But go ahead, please, Brian. Tell us about Rucker.
Yeah, at times he will show a burst, and I think it's more power than quickness with this guy. You'll see him get to the shoulder of the blocker, and he'll kind of work around the corner, and there's snaps where you see him go right down the damn middle of the blocker as well. So, it's one of those deals. There's some bend to his game, but I need to see more of it consistently. I just don't see him always bending that edge. And he will close down from on the quarterback from the backside. I think there's some flexibility to his game because you'll see him line up with hand on the ground, and then other times he'll be standing up like a linebacker, and then you kind of see him dropping. I think there could be a little hit and miss when it comes to adjusting to the ball. When they run it, he's kind of like he's fighting a block, and then the ball's by him, or he doesn't see the ball. I have seen him disengage from a blocker. Then the next one, the ball goes right by him. The effort's there, the motor's there. He's always trying to work towards the ball. I don't think he has great length for the position. 6'1", 257.
Very small.
I like the way the hands and work to kind of control the blocker. There's some upper body power and snap in those hands. He's a tweener. This guy is a tweener in every sense of the word. He got hurt in North Carolina State game this year where they fractured his fibula. They said it was kind of a cheap block, that there was some things going on, and they took a cheap shot and they broke the kid's fibula. So that's something that needs to be checked out. At 6'1", 257, I am not sure what you really do with this guy. I'm really not, I'm not sure about the pass rush stuff because of the length. I put him as an edge rusher in the 5th round is where I put him.
Yeah.
And, I've got him behind in that 4th. I got Robinson, Birch, our Gelati, Ivory, Barron. I've got him behind those guys. So he's my first guy in the 5th round. I'm just not 6'1", 257.
Yeah.
I don't see it enough to say, okay, well, he's an edge. Oh no, he's a linebacker. I think he needs a little bit more for me to put him in that group of those 4th round guys I was just talking about.
I got him in the 4, but he'll probably be like a 5th or 6th round guy, Brian. You know, because of his size or whatever. I do think he has some pass rush ability. If he has anything, he has pass rush ability. I had to watch a lot of film on the Bryan because they just kept like he has a lot of plays where they just don't block him. You know what I mean? I'm like,
they don't.
Why not blocking him? But he'll make those plays. But I got, just like you said, I got Ivory and you know, Stewart. Other Stewart, you know, JT to him a lot. I got all those guys over him. I got Barron under him because I still don't know what to do with Barron quite yet. He's just a big guy.
I thought, hey, you know, it's funny. Our friend Prince Faisal in Saudi Arabia, he sent me a mock draft and he had Barron selected, and I'm like, and when he selected him, you know, in the mock, I was kind of like, okay, 5th round, yeah, probably the right spot for him, you know, and I was just. But no, he had a, you know, Your Highness he had a good draft. He really did. You could tell he's kind of listening to what's going on. But but the Barron stuff, I was like, I didn't know if I had the heart to tell him, like, Your Highness, I don't know if I would deal with Barron in the 5th round. I think I'd look at something else there for sure.
Barron, Robinson, Gelati, I don't know what to do with him. You know what I'm saying? But at least I know.
Well, I have a better feel. Gelati, I have a feeling, high effort. He's going to play the run. He's probably not going to be a great pass rusher, but I don't know, man. There's that group of guys right now that there are probably a couple of them where I'm like, man, I'm gonna let somebody else be your hero here.
There's a lot of edges here, Bryan. That's interesting. We have a very edgeful. We need to slow down on watching some of these edges, but they just keep popping up in this draft.
You're the one that makes the list. You're the one that keeps making the list of these guys. Do you have any more edges on? I didn't even look at what I've got to do.
PFF make the damn list.
Do for Wednesday. I got to look at. I got to see what I got to do.
PFF make the damn list. I don't make. We got the edge from Texas that was really good in the Senior Bowl. He's down to Sorrell.
Well, we got some. Well, it looks like we got, like I say, you're going to give me Anthony Belton, offensive tackle from North Carolina State.
Yep, Senior Bowl.
Was it Milo Dotson, the corner from Kansas?
Yes, sir.
And then Jordan Phillips, the defensive tackle from Maryland. That would be the next group on Wednesday.
Yep.
Looking forward to talking to you tomorrow night and chopping this thing up with you and Kyle Yeomans. I'll be interested to see how you guys navigate that on the draft show tomorrow.
I'm probably going to put out a post on my YouTube and my Twitter and be like, hey, give me questions and we'll make it a big ass mailbag, and I'll do this Tuesday and Thursday. I love to answer questions, and I can fill up an hour real fast. So that's probably what we'll do.
Well, fan questions are always really good, and you got a good handle on things. You know, if you start talking about some 5th round guys, you know, I mean, I was on a radio show today, and I was actually a radio show. I was on with Jeff Kavanaugh on them, and all of a sudden, we were sitting there talking. Jeff goes, somebody asked a question, well, give me some 5th round guys, and I'm like, I rolled off 3 5th round guys, and Jeff's like, man, you're that far. And I'm like, I'm trying, man. It's not my fault. Sometimes those players just kind of naturally fall right into that area. They just fall right into that area for me.
Hey, man, nobody asked me to name some 5th round guys because I'm going to start naming people I don't like. Monahan.
That's what I said.
Bossa. Barron Carter, them some 5s for you. People I don't like.
Miller. What's that guy, Miller?
Yeah, I don't like them people. Bryan, it's always an honor and a pleasure to be able to work with you, man. I appreciate you, sir.
Appreciate you, man.
You go out there and eat some good food, have some fun. I know you got something planned tonight. So y'all be sure to, if you out there, be nice to Bryan Broaddus. Don't let me find out y'all doing nothing crazy in public. I'm gonna get y'all. Hey, y'all be sure to tap into him on G-Bag Nation. I'll be holding down all of his duties, taking care of his baby, the draft show this year, and we'll be
appreciate you, man,
this week, and we'll be doing the doing all right all for the rest of the week. So y'all stay tuned in. VOCHLOMBARDI BRY again, Broaddus. Y'all be sure to tap in with us. We love you to pieces. Until next time, y'all. Crown.